Alan, the oil price has been falling again. It's back down to its 2015 lows. What does this mean for the smaller oil companies active in and around the North Sea in the UK?
Well, it's very bad news. It's very bad news for any oil company, let's put it that way. And those with smaller balance sheets are going to be really tested as their revenues come down and costs, though they fall, are a bit sticky. So the natural question is, does the bigger, stronger oil company, particularly those with very low net debt relative to the size of their balance sheets, should they be looking around to perhaps buy up some of these smaller players, some of whom have very good portfolios, but also have quite a bit of leverage, right? So that's what, we're kind of waiting to see a little bit more of.
As you point out, usually when there's consolidation in an industry, it's the big guys who are financially strong with robust cash flows buying the smaller, more financially challenged companies. In this case, though, are the smaller companies' assets of sufficient scale to be of interest to the very large companies?
That's a good point. And so probably the first step won't be the Exxons and the Chevrons buying up little players. They'll probably see some consolidation amongst the medium-sized players and smaller players first. Certainly in the UK, we saw that in the late 90s, early 2000 period, with some consolidation occurring at that smaller size before we saw bigger players come in. So let's look at some of the UK-listed players where there could be some potential for cost reductions, say in the North Sea on the one hand. So we have companies like Premier Oil and EnQuest, both of which have considerable amounts of North Sea assets. I think, let's face it, there's at least potential here for some cost savings if those two come together. And that's the view of Citi, and I think it's worth noting, really. The other idea is to think about maybe Premier, which has a number of Asian assets, maybe coming together with SOCO International, which also has considerable asset overlap in places like Vietnam.
So, with little prospect of an improvement in oil prices short term, perhaps we could see some cheer for investors in the shape of consolidation. Thank you very much.